how are you all doing? Just doing a little update here on where I'm at. For those of you who haven't watched this before, I'm a figure competitor. I will be doing my fourth show in May of 2022. So in 17 weeks, I will be doing the next one. And I just want to do an update on how things have been different versus 2020 and things that I'm kind of changing. So we'll just get started. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed so far is the difference between the scale, the numbers on the scale, and what I actually see in the mirror. So in 2020, I was noticing the scale would go down, but I wasn't really noticing a lot of changes in how I looked at that time. This year seems to be completely the opposite. I've only lost 4 pounds this month, and that doesn't seem like a lot because I'm at the gym 6 days a week, I'm lifting 6 days a week, I'm doing my cardio, all of the things I should be. I'm not seeing it in the scale, but I'm seeing it when I look at myself. And I noticed probably about, I would say like 2 weeks ago, where I was like, wow, I actually can kind of see a difference. So it's interesting. It's one of those things that it's not always this, like, don't focus on the scale. I think that's the biggest thing, no matter what you're doing, whether you're competing or even if you're just trying to lose weight and just get healthier. It's not all about the scale. So now, even though that scale isn't moving, I'm seeing changes. I'm seeing things lean up. I'm having other people at the gym notice, which is always a nice thing because it knows you're going in the right direction. So that's been really interesting. Food-wise, I'm still doing pretty well. I'm still at a decent amount of calories. Biggest thing I think I've got to do different than I have done in the past is, instead of getting my lunch or breakfast, whatever, all weighed out and just thinking I have to eat it all at that time, because that's just what I always think. This time around, I'm trying to leave a little bit for later. So I'll have maybe 3/4 of it for breakfast, and then I'll leave a little bit and be like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna finish it off. So it feels like I'm staying steadily full more than just eating and then being hungry all the time. So I've been trying to do that. So I just have little nibbles here and there, even with my snacks. If I'll just take a little bite, or my protein shake, I'll try and make that last throughout the day. So if I'm feeling kind of down, I'm like, oh, I know I've got half a protein shake and half an orange to eat. So that's been doing well. One thing that I'm still doing that I've always done is I add in I have to have certain things every day. Like, I like to have a piece of toast with a little bit of butter and cinnamon on it and some coffee before bed. It just gives me it's like a little moment that I have. So what I do in my macro calculator, first thing in the day, is I will put in that toast. I usually do 3 grams of butter, and then the slice of bread. I do the Ezekiel bread. It doesn't have as many carbs, and it's super, super good toasted. So I put that in right away in the beginning of the day, so that way, as I'm eating my food throughout the day, I know that no matter what I eat, it's already built in. So I don't have that disappointment of, oh, I ate too much, now I can't have my toast that I always look forward to. So if you're new to macros, or you want to improve your macros, and you have a food that you always want, say if you always want a Hershey's Kiss, because that was my thing, I would build 3 of them in the morning, so that way I always knew I could have my Hershey Kiss, because there are certain things that you can't do without, and chocolate is one of them. Some of the other things, I gotta look at my list so I don't ramble. One thing that I'm doing different this year, which is a lot of fun, is I'm paying more attention to the PRs that I'm getting still. Even if sometimes they're not for just like a one rep max, but if it's like a PR for reps, just things like that, I write everything down in my book, and it's just kind of fun to kind of be like, wow, I'm still, even though I'm cutting, I'm still able to get stronger and still able to make those PRs, which is a nice kind of a reward. Once you get into doing this for so long, you guys know that for those people that compete, or just people that are at the gym all the time, there are days when you don't want to be there and you don't want to do it, and then when you flip through in your book and you see, okay, last time I got 8, well, this time I want to try for this. And when you hit those PRs, it helps me kind of stay energized and focus less on the scale and more on, hey, you're still doing good, you're still making progress. I'm doing the same thing with my cardio. Every time I do I'll try and do 100 on the bike every day. I like to see if I can get it a little bit faster. That one's a huge win for me. I hated the assault bike, and now I'm sort of becoming like weirdly addicted to it. Like I have to have it, like, because it's harder, it's more of a mental game, you know, you get to push yourself. So just watching PRs has been kind of interesting. It's made it a little bit more fun for those days when you don't want to be there. Let's see, what else do I have on my little list? I have been working on my sleep. I started wearing the little Fitbit guy, which has been really interesting, to try and figure out what's going on with my sleep and how I can make it better. So I have started doing a nighttime kind of sleep routine or process, whatever you want to call it. 7 o'clock at night, I shut everything off. I don't have any background noise on. I usually have cartoons on for my little birds. I turn that off. I put, if I do put music on, it's just very quiet and very low, and I read. If I'm reading my book and I'm like, nah, I just kind of want to lay here or sit here in my comfy chair and literally just relax and think about the good things that I've done that day, or think about things that I want to work on. I'll even turn the lights down and just have an hour of quiet before I actually go to bed. And that seems to be helping. I've also started taking melatonin, which I think helps as well. Sometimes I forget it, but that seems to be helping, just getting more, staying asleep longer. I had problems of waking up. Last night I was awake for an hour and 20 minutes. So it's kind of frustrating when you want to get through all the good cycles of sleep. But I think the pre-bedtime routine is helping and just kind of calming me down and keeping me quiet and not so anxious. Another thing that I'm trying to do is get a little bit more outside time, even with it being really, really cold out. It's just that burst of fresh air and the little bit of sunshine, and it's just exhilarating to me. So yesterday it was -2. I managed 5 minutes outside, pretty much dressed like I am now. And I came inside and yeah, it was like my skin felt cold, but yet I was like, wow, this is like, I feel invigorated and ready to go for the next step. So that is something I want to try to do throughout my work day, is I want to get outside, even if it's just like stick my head out the door for 5 minutes, just to get a little bit of sunshine, just get some nice fresh air in my lungs. It makes me happier. So that's kind of where I'm at prep wise. And hopefully I'd like to do these more often, but boy, this is time consuming. Kudos for you guys that keep up on doing your videos. This is a lot of work. So if you liked this, a thumbs up would be great, or if you want to comment anything or how I can make it better, that would be awesome. I'm out here in my screen porch just because it's good sunlight and it's one of my favorite rooms in my house. So I hope you guys are having a great day, whatever it is you're doing. And if you enjoyed this, again, like, subscribe, that would be awesome. Throw some comments in. I'd love it. Okay, thanks guys.